Shalom. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha, Kadash, for giving me the spirit and power to make this lesson. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that teach this truth in Ruel, Wabrakatham, unto the elect. This is the brother Gabar from the Great Millstone Dallas branch. All right, and this is going to be about overcoming the hour of temptation, which the only way to overcome the hour of temptation is to resist, all right, what Esau is offering you. The M-A-R-K, Revelation chapter 13, verse 16, all right? Resisting it in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, and those names, okay? That's how you overcome, through faith, all right? And faith is something that grows over time through experience, okay? And when you have a group of people that's been training, all right, that's been preparing through different experiences that the Lord has been walking them through, all right, with them, and then you have another group that hasn't been, they've been doing whatever they please, all right, then you have a failure rate, all right, and that rate is higher than the saved. All right. So the elect are going to resist. OK, that group, the remnant, the elect of the nation of Israel are going to resist. OK, because they believe in Yahweh Ba'ashim Shai. They fear Yahweh Ba'ashim Shai. All right. As they know through what the Lord has told them through the prophets of what that thing is. And then you have this other group that is fully in the world, the two-thirds Salakia. All right. The 2/3 are fully in the world. All right. They're going to take that thing, man. All right. And all right, going into these precepts, Revelation chapter 3 and verse 10, it says, Revelation 3 and 10, because thou hast kept the word of my patience. All right. So right there you have, all right, people that are going to keep the word of Yahweh Ba'ashim Shai, of his patience. All right. To wait upon him and to do his commandments. All right. Let's grab Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 23, straight to the point. Speaking about, all right, the ones that don't repent. All right. Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 23, it says, turn you at my reproof, right, as his word comes out, all right? It says, behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. So the same words, all right, but you're not keeping them. You see? And that's the problem. You're not keeping them, man. Verse 24, because I have called and ye refused. I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. They take no thought. They don't think about the Lord or his prophets. They mock at them. They scoff the messengers and the message. Verse 25, it says, but ye have set at not all my counsel, and with none of my reproof. Verse 26, I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. So it's going to be no help for you, man, because the Lord ain't on your side to deliver you. All right, so you're not going to be saved from the wrath to come. You don't fear the Lord. You didn't keep, all right, his word, all right, the word of his patience. All right, it says, verse 27, when your fear cometh as desolation and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me. Now that's when you want to, Yahweh Ba'ashim Shai, or, God, Jay going to be calling out to the Most High. All right, for those that know the names and those that don't. All right, verse 28, then shall they call upon me, right? After the Lord stopped speaking through his prophets, he closed their mouths. All right, famine of the word happens. All right, and then the Lord, judgment begins, and the ones that knew, the ones that fell out, that was a part of the truth, and then they fell out, they're going to get it first and they're going to get it the worst. All right. As scripture say, it reads on in verse 28, but I will not answer. Right? Then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. Right. So right when these things happen, they're going to be looking to, get some alleviation from these things, these plagues, you know, but the Lord ain't going to answer them. And you got people doing that now, man, as stuff gets harder, you know. Verse 29, it says, for that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord. You see, you didn't, Salakia. All right, see, you didn't choose the fear of the Lord and to keep his word. All right, to keep the word of his patience. All right, to be faithful. Okay, and to repent. None of those things. All right, this knowledge, you didn't accept it. All of that stuff, man. You chose to live this life that you were already living before the Lord called you, which is being like a heathen. All right, you chose that, although the Lord called. All right, and the same thing was told to you, man, that this place will be destroyed. All right, so now you're being destroyed. And that's the fate of most Jakes, man. All right. It says, verse 30, all right, Proverbs 1 and 30. They will none of my counsel, they despise all of my reproof. Therefore, they shall eat the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices. Right, so evil gonna fall upon them, man. All right. It says, for the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. But whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely and shall be quiet from fear of evil. Right. Psalms 91. All right. No plague shall come near your dwelling, because you made the Lord your habitation, this truth. All right. So yeah, man. All right, we're in those times. All right, we see these things manifesting. Okay, going back, Revelation chapter 3 and verse 10, it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience. All right, this is what the elect are doing. All right. Matter of fact, let's see if it's anything on there in the Blue Letter Bible. That Revelation 3:10. When it says kept, because thou hast kept.
Strong's G 5083. Tereo. Tereo.
All right. It says to attend to, carefully take care of. Right. All right. That's what the elect are minded to do. Let's get Sirach chapter 2 and 15. I believe it's 2 and 15. Yeah, it says, Sirach 2 and 15. They that fear the Lord, all right, they chose not to fear the Lord, the 2/3. But the elect are choosing to fear the Lord, to keep his word, to keep the word of his patience, as we're reading. It says, they that fear the Lord will not disobey his word. All right. And who's the word embodied? Yahweh Shai. All right. It says, and they that love him will keep his ways. Verse 16, they that fear the Lord will seek that which is well pleasing unto him, and they that love him shall be filled with the law. Exactly. All right. Keeping his commandments, his word. All right. And it says they that fear him will seek that which is well pleasing unto him. Right. Continuously seeking what's pleasing unto their Lord. Okay. All right. Going back, Revelation 3 and 10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation. So the Lord is going to defend them. He's going to be there to care for them. He's going to take thought for them and deliver them. All right. From that time, because if you don't take that thing, how are you going to eat if you can't buy and sell? Where are you going to live if you can't buy and sell? You know, because in this place, you know, even if you own a house, you got property taxes you got to pay. What, once a year? All right. So you don't really own it. And if you can't pay that, they take the house from you. All right. You got bills you got to pay monthly. Light bill, water bill, utilities, gas bill, whatever, you know. So how are you going to function? What's going to happen? Well, the Lord is going to take care. He promised that his elect are going to eat. All right. So we don't have to take thought for these things. We just got to believe. All right. And the Lord has already provided the way, you know. It says Revelation 3:10, I will, it says, I also will keep thee. So because the elect, all right, they answered that call in meekness, all right, and in obedience, all right, it says, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth, right? To be tried. You're going to be tested. This is a test, man. The hour of temptation, the ultimate test. Okay? And the only way through it is believing in this word. All right, believing in Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. All right, as you know, you come into this truth, the Lord is, you begin this relationship, with him, and you have to draw nigh unto him, man. And he draw nigh unto you. If you want to get closer to the Lord will get closer to you if you get closer to him. All right. This is James chapter 4 and verse 8. It says, draw nigh to Yahweh, and he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded. Exactly. All right. And how do you cleanse your hands? Psalms chapter 119 and verse 9. It says, wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed hereto according to thy word. You see, it's all about following his word, man. Following Yahweh Shai. All right. To the best of your ability, sincerely, in meekness, being humble. Okay. And fearing the Lord. All right. Developing this intimate relationship with Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. All right. Because he is your power. All right. And you are his people. All right. So the Lord will get closer to you if you get closer to him. The Lord has provided the way through his prophets. He's telling you, you just got to come correct. All right. You got to make your mind up. OK, because the Lord is going to destroy this place, man. All right. Luke chapter 18 and verse 8, it says, I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Right. The destruction is coming. Okay. It's coming fast. All right. The time is shortened. All right. And we're praying that the time be shortened. All right. Luke 18 and 8. I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth? Right. That's what the Lord is sending his son back, Yahweh Shai, to find. And he's going to find it in his elect. All right. So put on as the elect and be faithful and be meek. All right, and be obedient, and believe, okay? He's looking for that. And in that belief, the elect are going to resist that in that hour of temptation, all right? That faith is giving you the power to resist, man. You believe in the Lord, all right? Not bowing down to this system, all right? Just because this tribulation and these different things are happening, all right? And they're prescribing that this is the only way. They're definitely not telling you the Lord is the way. All right, but the Lord has told us that he's the way. All right, through his prophets, prophesying in these latter days, in the end. How long you think the prophet's going to prophesy, man? The Lord's going to have this test come, the hour of temptation. It's going to draw a line in the sand. Everybody's going to take it, and then the elect or not. All right. Everybody that doesn't truly believe in the Lord are going to take it, save their life on this side. All right. They don't believe that the Lord is going to actually return. All right, and bring judgment. All right, they're going to take it, and the elect are going to refuse. All right, because they truly believe in the Lord. They got this relationship with the Lord. They fear the Lord. They believe in his word, and they're keeping the word of his patience. No matter what, man. All right, that's the time we're in. All right, where we're all about to face that. So do you truly, you got to be in league with Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. Not just saying, but doing, because you don't want that day to come like a snare. As it speaks of in Luke 21:34, if you're so just living your life and whatever, and you're not really regarding the Lord so much, then it's going to be a snare to you, man. It's going to be sudden, unexpected, You're going to take that thing, you're going to be destroyed. All right. Most people going to take it, man. That sounds crazy alone, but it's going to happen. They're going to bring, something. All right. as they say, people are going to be more willing to accept something like that, if it's like something crazy going on, which is true. Look at the jump shot, the jab. That happened. People took that thing, although people was dropping like flies in cases, and they was making a lot of stuff up, that was like a test run, man. All right. Let's get Psalms 34:7. The angel of the Lord Yahweh encampeth round about them that fear him and delivereth them. Right. So if you truly fear the Lord, the angels are round about you. All right. And they're going to act on your behalf, man. All right. This stuff ain't written for no reason. We see the Lord sending his angels around us, and they've acted already on our behalf, man. Showing themselves, all right, delivering certain messages to you, all right, doing things for you that you don't know of, that you can't see, to say, So we just got to continue to believe, man, and wait on Yahweh Ba'Shem Al Shai. All right, we're waiting on the Lord to send Yahweh Shai. All right, but it's gonna be a path and a deliverance, all right, that takes place, and getting to that place of that deliverance, of not tasting that second death, where your faith has got to be. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, let's grab this and I'll close it out. 2 Ezra chapter 2 and verse 42. We'll start at 42. It says, I, Ezra, saw upon the Mount Sion a great people whom I could not number, and they all praised the Lord with songs. Right? The great multitude in the 144,000, all together, the elect, all right, of the nation of Israel, 12,000 from each tribe, 144,000 in a mass multitude of Israelites saved, all right, that believe, all right, through the four corners of the earth, mainly in Babylon the Great. That's where the main deliverance is taking place out of. Okay. It says, verse 43, and in the midst of them there was a young man of a high stature, taller than all the rest, and upon every one of their heads he sat crowns, and he was and was more exalted, and I marvel at greatly. All right, so that's Yahweh Shai. All right, and he's more exalted in that higher stature. All right, and he crowned, all right, his elect. All right, as it's going to be a crowning ceremony. All right, this is what we're looking forward to, man. The overcoming. All right, that crown of life, man. All right. Verse 44, it says, so I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? And he answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal. Right. That 2 Ezra 6 and 9. All right. Jacob being the beginning that followed. They putting on that. All right. That mindset. All right. Of the eternal world. All right. And in the fear of the Lord. All right. Because we're going to be in the new bodies there, man. So we're not exercising, in practices, anything of this world or anything. We're putting on the customs of Yahweh Ba'Shem Al Shai, as we're going to have the second covenant, all right, in the laws within us, man. So we're rehearsing righteousness, all right? And it's different to this world. It's foreign to this world because they're wicked, man. All right? Putting on the immortal. We're immortal beings, man. A whole different thing. All right? And the mortal can't perceive that. It can't put that on. All right? It says, I have confessed the name, Salaki. It says, and put on the immortal and have confessed the name of Yahweh. All right? And are they crowned and receive palms? Right? They're going to get all their rewards. All right. And confess the name of the Lord. Right. Confess it on the highways and byways, on the internet. Right. All right. In their life. Right. Verse 46. Then said I unto the angel, what young person is it that crowneth them and giveth them palms in their hands? And he answered and said unto me, it is the Son of Yahweh, whom they have confessed in the world. You see, who we confessed in the world. All right, Lord's will, you know, I and you be a part of that number. All right. It says, whom they have confessed in the world. All right, prophesying this testimony. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord. Right, stiffly because it was put to the test as well. All right, through different things, and ultimately, the hour of temptation. Take that thing or not. You know, that's your whole life. You're even gonna, as it's prophesied, you're even gonna have certain members of the elect, all right, they're gonna have to lay down their life. You know, refusing that mark, Revelation 13:16. You know, and you got to be ready for that. Your faith, you know, because you don't know exactly who that is, but hey, if that's your lot, that's your plate. You know, you got to do what you got to do. You know, so you got to be okay with losing here. All right, you got to be okay with losing here. The underdog. All right. Verse 48. It says, then the angel said unto me, go thy way and tell my people what manners of things and how great wonders of the Lord thy power thou hast seen. All right. So that's the point. All right. Yahweh Shema Shai is going to have his elect in the hour of temptation because they trust in him and they believe, and he's going to be there to protect them, man. All right. And the rest that didn't choose to follow his word, because that's what they did. They chose to follow the word and fear the Lord. All right. And trust in him. Do what he said to do. The rest that didn't, they're going to be caught up in these things, man. All right. They're not going to be taken care of, man. And we're going to see it, man. As we're seeing things, but wait till this hour of temptation come. Wait. All right. That's when it's really going, bro. That's when it's going to be heavy, man. All right. The time of Jacob's trouble. That's when it's really the time of Jacob's trouble right there. That hour of temptation, man. All right. So Lord's will, this was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bashim Shai for giving me the spirit and power to make this lesson. Until next time.